Okay, I'm gonna move off to the side here so that I'm not standing right in front of the pictures. Just let me see them also. I guess you don't need these. Okay. All right, so you are looking at the church building at Grace Bible Baptist Church in Nakuru, Kenya. This is a church that has been planted by our missionary of almost 30 years, Robert Mickey and his wife, Wendy. Raised their kids in Kenya, had the privilege to plant this church, eventually built this building. The building was actually constructed by one of the church members, the builder in the church, and it is beautiful. The property is beautiful. You see lots of beautiful plantings. The church has now been turned over to a national man, Pastor Olo, who is, in my estimation, a wonderful pastor who also does the maintenance of the property, and he really enjoys that. Let's look at the next slide. This is our missionary, Robert Mickey. He was here over the summer. He is always in motion, not in Kenya 100% of the time now, but when he's there, he's always in motion. In lower right there, he's photobombing this dear lady who wanted to have her picture taken. He jumped in. In the upper left there, this is an event for pastors who attended the Bible college. They had a dinner for them. And after the meal, they gave them clothing and Bibles. It was a raffle. They drew names. Clothing and Bibles. We had taken some books over from Dr. Strauss. Those were a big hit. This man, this dear missionary who we support, he is going all the time. Let's look at the next slide. There on the church property. So this would be beyond the church building, which is there on the right, in the rear. They've constructed several buildings that are used primarily for education. They have a K through 12 school on the property with dorms that some of the students stay at. And I asked him about that. I said, why is that a thing? Why the dorms? And he said, the reason for that is that they were losing students once they get into 8th grade and up to other schools that had dorms. And I said, okay, dorms, why so important? He said, well, look around the neighborhood. The people live in such terrible poverty. You'll see some pictures. This beautiful property is just surrounded by poverty that is hard for us to imagine. And so parents want their kids to be able to go away to school where they're going to have better housing, better food, better clothing, all of that. And so a lot of times they were going to secular schools or schools that were being run by churches that have different doctrine. And so they finally said, well, if the Lord will allow us to construct dorms and have a residential school, we'll do that so that we can keep kids here in a Christian school that's teaching good doctrine. And Lord allowed. Lord really miraculously allowed the funds to come in to construct several school buildings and dorms. The very top level of this building in the rear here is still unfinished. They hope to find the funds to accomplish that work in God's timing. So it's something we can think about maybe helping them with along the way. Let's look at the next slide. These are tents that are erected for when the Bible college is in session. It's 4 weeks, 3 weeks per year. Put up these beautiful tents, and the students, when they have breaks, are able to come out here. At break time, you drink chai. What's chai? It's tea, and it's delicious. So you get your chai, you go over and sit down for a few minutes, and then it's back at it. So this is a Bible college break time with chai and beautiful palm trees as well. Let's go ahead. This is a youth Sunday school class, one of the first things that I got to see, actually conducted in one of the education buildings there. They were having a good time. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but lots of youth in the church. This would be one of many youth Sunday school classes that were being conducted. Let's look at the next slide. This church service here, it was Missions Conference Week, and so you see the flags encouraging kind of a focus on the missions theme. It was very interesting. I guess Baptists are the same everywhere. 5 minutes before the service, nobody's there. 11 o'clock, everybody's there. The place just fill up in a heartbeat. You will notice that there are no padded seats. At the very front, for several rows, there are these hard plastic chairs. And then the rest of the seating, the vast majority of the seating, is these kind of really tough wooden benches, and people don't complain about it. They just come, and their church, any guesses as to how long their church services are typically? Any guesses? About 2 hours, yeah, or longer. It'd be at least 2 hours. And no one complains. They're there for 2 hours. They'll have a break. So they have Sunday school. They have a 2-hour worship service, preaching service. They have a break. They do another service at 4:30. And that one can go about an hour and a half or so. So it's a very, very full day. Many of these people are walking. Everybody's walking. Many of them are walking 45 minutes or more to get to church, and through some pretty challenging neighborhoods to get there. And so there's a wonderful commitment here to being in church and to doing whatever it takes to get there and taking full advantage of the opportunity once they're there. Okay. Here's choir. The choir sang in every service. There's a youth choir. I think I included a separate youth choir that sang as well. I want to take a minute and speak to the lady in red here on the left. She is signing for these 3 people that are seated there in the front. Brother Mickey may have told this story here. I don't recall, and he doesn't either, but some years back, there was a lady in the church who, she had a daughter who was deaf. And she went to Brother Mickey and she said, I'm very upset. And he said, what's going on? And she said, I'm very concerned that my daughter is going to go to hell because she is completely deaf and will never be able to share the gospel with her. This was the concern. And so they began to think about and pray about a deaf ministry, but they would need someone to come in who knew sign language to teach sign language, and they just didn't know how that could ever happen. I don't know if you remember this story. Shortly after this encounter, and he asked people to begin praying, Brother Mickey was visiting a church in Alaska, in Fairbanks, Alaska, and he met a man there who was talking about going to Kenya to work with the deaf and to teach sign language in churches so that churches could work with the deaf. And I mean, he was blown away by that. That man actually did go to Kenya and work with the church in Nakuru long enough to train about a dozen people to sign, and then he left. It was sent out of this church and planted another church not too far away. And so it's a wonderful story about how God provides to meet needs. There was a need. The Lord said, gotcha, and put Brother Mickey in contact with a man in Alaska, of all places, to meet that need. And so today they have about a dozen people who sign. It's Kenya Sign Language, which is similar but not the same.